Yeah, stuck right on there. Well, alright. Hello and welcome to the first episode, probably the only one, of Hoon Talk Cooking there, right? So today I'm going to be making something I found on the internet. I'll be claiming it as my own, obviously. My own personal recipe, mainly because I just changed a couple things on her. Not a big deal, right? Okay, so we're going to just jump right into her here, because these type of things are super boring, right? We just want to make sure we get off on the right foot. Alright, so naturally you're going to be wanting to have the dishwasher going in the background, because any ambient sort of sounds like that is going to just make it so that it feels like it's more homely, right? So basically you want to be cutting these carrots up into like lengths, but first you want to be doing whatever this is called. You want to be stripping her off, right? Get that shirt right off. Probably going to make it taste a little gristly if you have it on, so just hyper speed stripping her, right? Gone off the rails already. I was a bit apprehensive about doing this because it's really the only time I've ever tried to cook. Mainly Bree handles that because she's much better cook than I am. In this case, I think it's time to branch out. Now that we have all these like little carrot shirts here, we're going to be putting those off to the side. And if you have some sort of compostable thing, you could probably put them in there, which I mean, we'll probably just throw them in the garbage because we're not that environmentally friendly in this household, right? We're continuing here, stripping them down, right? Looking like a Christina Aguilera mid-2000 album. Got some stuff on there, right? The boys will know. Now this is going to dye your hands orange, so I would recommend that before you do it, you're going to want to be coming up with an excuse to tell your friends as to why your hands are orange, because you definitely don't want your peers to be finding out that you know how to cook, or they'll be pestering you to be cooking all sorts of different things for them. It's kind of like if you own a truck, right? Get a truck and then all of a sudden people think that you just want to move them all the time. That's why you bought it, right? Is for them, but you really didn't. You bought it for yourself, didn't you? Getting off the rails again, but we'll get back on the rails, I'm sure, at some point. Either that or we'll just keep going in circles until the rail finds itself or something or nothing or whatever. Oh, this one's a big bastard. Look at him. The hog. What are you gonna do with that? We're gonna cook and eat it. That's what you're gonna do. Wow. It's just a spaghetti sauce, guys. Don't get excited. Okay, that one's looking pretty stripped. Oh no, there's a section there that dodged the knife there. Luckily, before you started, your wife cleaned the counter for you because clearly you can't keep anything on the cutting board, which she also didn't wash before you started using it, so who knows what was on it. But she cleaned the counter, so if any of your vegetables just end up on there, that's okay. Okay, so you got them all stripped down. Next step is to kind of hit them into these little zones like this. I don't know if you're supposed to dollar these or what we're supposed to be doing. I only really looked at the recipe one time. Clearly that's not enough. No, okay, and the dishwasher is like getting really hot at this point. I'm starting to think it was a bad idea to run her before doing this. What can you do, right? You can't win them all. Okay. Oh, we're losing everything. Oh, that one's gone now. Still here, I'm just off in the distance. Okay, there we go. Putting them into all sorts of different shapes here. No, just one. Okay, it's getting even worse. It's everywhere. We're just losing carrots. Luckily, we kind of planned for that, right? Knew that it would be landing on the floor a lot if I was the one making her, right? This carrot's kind of looking a little screwed up, right? I'm trying not to do this on the small scale like this. Like, just do one or two at a time. That kind of sucks. I want to just be slashing them, right? I just downed a cherry Coke, too. So why am I putting the shitty ones in there? You don't want the shitties. You only want the goods. We're being forced to go small scale here, guys. I mean, do one or two at a time or they're just flying everywhere. I mean, there's probably some actual like sous chefs out there looking at this. Who am I kidding? No, they're not watching this, but if they were, they'd just be turning over, right? Rolling in their grave or something. How would they be watching her if they're turning in their grave? They would not be watching her. That's the thing. Just a couple more to bang out here. Woo! More. You do just a couple and it's on the floor again. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? You're supposed to cry yourself to sleep at night like an adult. I don't know if I cut those off. Anyway, I'm going to put them off to the side in this little guy. I think it's called a boel. I put it in there. Well, just to clean up the space a little, right? You don't want to be having all these sorts of guys and things and whatever. And so you get the idea. I'm going to do that for the rest of these guys and then I'll get back at you because it's obviously going to be super boring if you're just watching me cut carrots the whole time. Carrots the whole time, right? All right, obviously pay no never mind to the fact that my cat's eating on the same counter that I'm doing my prep on here, but okay, I just wanted to show you a quick little thing here with the carrot that I figured out. So first I cut it lengthwise like that, cutting her into $half, right? Then they're not rolling everywhere, guys. That's what we figure out as we go. Length, okay, it's not working. It's not working again here. Oh, we're back to square one. Get out of here, Jack. You're not allowed. Oh, this is way off the rails. The idea was to put it back in a line, which has worked off camera. You just cut down the length of her, right? You just blast her. Woo-hoo! Luckily, I didn't have to remove Jack there because he was getting a little too close for comfort on the carrot. There's actually some sausages in the sink there that they were frozen. We didn't plan that well, so they're frozen. We're just thawing them out in there in the meantime anyway. And then, okay, this has got to work this time because last time it didn't work. I mean, you guys were there. It was literally seconds ago. Okay, so now we got the length and there, like that. Just like that. Now they're the perfect size. All right, so I'm back one more time. I'm not done the carrots. It's not my fault. I keep saying that I'll come back when I'm done the carrots, but I'm not. Okay, so basically okay, we're starting ahead of ourselves here. Let's back up. Okay, so I found an even better way to cut these carrots, and I just want to share that with you now. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit her once lengthwise, flip her like that, right? Then we're going to hit her another time lengthwise. Ooh, order of operations, right? And then when you got her like that, they're going to be perfect size when you're just slapping them out with that, just like that. And then we're in, right? Then we're in the zone. Whatever the zone is, we're there. Currently, the zone is the dishwasher steam. So that zone's pretty hot at the moment. We have now done the carrots there. Can you see those guys there? Which is conveniently 4, which is what the recipe says. We also got our offcuts here. Don't need those. I managed to throw a bunch of the good carrots that I cut into that. Had a hell of a time picking them out of there, but we're doing good anyway, in spite of these things. And in spite of the dishwasher just cooking us alive. If you're going to do anything, right, you want to be doing her on hard mode. That just makes life a lot more interesting, I find. Onto the onions. Prepare for some tears and some squinted eyes. I mean, you already got those, right? I'm always doing that. Okay, onion time. So decided to go with some of these red bastards here. No real reason at all, actually, other than I don't really like the white onions. I need a container that's big enough to hold all those husks, right? There's gonna be a lot of those. Maybe that thing. Who knows where that's been, though, right? We still have to do ourselves a Tupperware. So these are a totally different beast than the carrots. She's got a smell to her. It's gonna be getting you tearing. I've heard lots of old wives' tales about various ways that you can be having not tears when you're cutting onions, but I'm not really into superstitions or nothing like that. Okay, so take off the outer layer like this. Learned that from my days in the BK lounge, right? You don't want to be having those outer layers with the crinkles on there. Those aren't really that tasty. That's life on hard mode, right? Ooh, not really sure what I'm doing here. Now, there was a way I figured out to do this that was a lot better the second time around, I guess you could say, from the first time around that I did her. I'm gonna try this way this time. I'm gonna hack her like that, and then we're gonna do the rings, because you want to get her, it says, the recipe says to get her like all diced up, right? Which, whatever that means, no one knows. The closest thing I know to dice are likely just little cubes, right? So we got her like that so far. That's doing all right. Now we're gonna go this way. Oh yeah, bend out of the way, why don't you? We're already off to a good start on this, because last time I cut onions, it turned into just a mess. Like, it looked just like putty after, and that was just from my tears, right? I'm not even talking about the vegetables. Just the face just looked like the mascara's all running, right? Boys don't wear mascara typically unless they're in a band, bud. So recipe's calling for about 3 of these. Probably gonna put 2 in there, 2.5. Not really sure why, but I'm gonna do that. You're gonna be seeing a lot of mistakes, and I don't want to be hearing about it in the comments. Say, who am I kidding? Yeah, just anybody comment, alright? It's got some stragglers in there, guys. Straggling. The weirdest part about this is, like, when you cook these onions into the sauce, they just disappear. They're not even there. They just turn into flavor, right? So essentially what I'm trying to get done here is I'm just gonna prep all the stuff, and then I'll have it ready. I'll just be able to assemble it real quick. You just toss it in, because once you brown that meat, you want to be getting it all going. Not really sure if that was instilled in me by the recipe or something, or if I just wanted that personally. Who knows? Oh, okay, you just want to make sure you touch every part of the paper towel rack there so it gets all warped and deformed and feels crusty for the next guy that uses it, right? Conveniently going to be me again. All right, I'll check back at you when I'm done the onions. All right, so we have since got all the onions cut into that, just an enormous amount of onions. If you're going to be doing this at home, you're going to want to know that about halfway through cutting the onions, you're going to be like, oh man, this is way too many onions. I don't think I'm supposed to be having this many onions. Be second guessing yourself. That's part of the sauce testing you, right? The sauce is testing you, just like you'll be testing it later, make sure it's good, right? It's testing you right now, making sure you're not soft. So just basically, there's going to be a lot of onions there and a lot of carrots and other things. But now we're on to the probably the worst part of the job, which is de-skinning all the sausages or whatever they're called. And now this is the part where these guys start coming around. Got a little peep there, right? Say hello, peep. Got a little yucky there. Yeah, so once you get the sausage out, those guys are coming around like it's going out of style. And they'll be bugging you for treats and whatnot, and that's all part of the test as well. So anyway, time to get on to that sausage de-gloving, as it were. So there's actually a step that I missed before the degloving, as it were, and that's you're going to be wanting to do some canola oil, and you're going to be wanting to do it in there, and you're going to be wanting to turn that up, and then you're going to be wanting to put this in there. Well, 2 of this, which is ground beef there. It's extra lean, right? So the last time I did this sauce, I ended up browning the meat. I did it in a saucepan because that's what they said, but I ended up pouring it in here anyway, so I just do it in here this time. It says do 1/4 of this. I mean, that's the rest, right? So I could have just not, and they would have been fine. Then I wouldn't have dirtied another utensil, but we live and learn. Okay, these are going to go over bit in this direction. Now we're gonna bust open these guys. Maybe I'll turn this on now. Probably not to the max. That's probably not needed. Just immediately starts boiling. Either that or I spilled some on the thing. Probably option 2. Sound like a ghost. Okay, what am I looking for? Probably go with this wood guy. Got all sorts of nonsense on him though. What is all this nonsense? What happens when you just keep running stuff through the dishwasher and you don't wash it by hand? It comes out dirty, you just put her through again, right? Me and the wife are just terrible for that. Just thinking that we're just, yeah, I'll be better next time, right? No, it comes out the exact same and you just keep running her. We've got utensils in there that have been just getting run through that thing since we moved in. It's insane. Anyway, it smells alright. It looks alright. We're going to be cooking stuff. It doesn't really matter, right? I mean, it probably does matter to if you were doing this for like your family or something. But it's like any trade, right? You don't really want people to be watching you work your craft because they won't understand. Sometimes you got to use a hammer, right? You wouldn't think you'd have to be using a hammer. Sometimes you got to be using a hammer and people just don't get that. In cooking, usually... Had a long fall there, right? In cooking, there's really not many uses for a hammer, I guess, but I think it still is a valid thing to have said. I mean, all things are valid if you really think about it. It's just some of them aren't really worth as much. So this one's going to be going in the garbage now. I'm still here, don't worry. Not really sure why I always say that when I go off camera. It's not like you guys are like babies and haven't developed object permanence yet. He's left. He's gone forever. What happened? Like peekaboo on the camera the whole time. Wow. We got the okay. Got the reds in there now. Maybe I'll just turn it up to max. This show on the road. I mean, maybe on a cooking show they'd show you the inside of the pot, but at this point it just looks like a disaster. Right? Keep slapping her around. I'm gonna turn that back down because we'll forget about it and we'll be having fun. So while that's going on, I'm gonna go deglove the sausages. I don't really think you're gonna be wanting to see that, so I'll just leave that to myself. Okay. All right, so they have been degloved. Just a terrible word, right? Just not liking that one. Okay, so we got the meat in here. Now she's starting to brown up a bit, which I mean, obviously for the layman, that means that there's a chemical reaction going that's gonna be, I'm just kidding. I don't even know, guys. I have no idea what's happening in there. Is it oregano? What are we doing? Let's check the recipe. Half at a time. Okay, yeah, we got that. Oh, we need this. Need the red pepper flakes. Now I don't even remember how many I put in last time. I imagine the more you put in, the worse spice wise it's gonna be. So as you just saw, I put a couple things in there, whatever that is. The season with salt and pepper as well. Ground black pepper, maybe. Oh, now that hurt. A little bit of salt in there, maybe. Just a wee bit. In the same saucepan, it says you want to be putting the onions and the carrots. Yeah, so at this point, I'm just gonna be putting it all together. Not really sure what they're expecting. I don't know who really reads these recipes all the way through, right? You just sort of get the gist and then you slap everything in there and hope for the best. I'm off in the distance, but I'm still here. Ow! Burning himself over here. All right, that's doing a lot better on the hands now. Can get out of the way. So now I'm just going to be bashing up those sausages in there. Just bashing and mashing. Oh yeah, so the type of sausage that you're supposed to be using, it's like mild okay, wow, take two. Mild spicy Italian sausage or something. So I got it just down on the number 6 setting here on the old Frigidaire, whatever that means, but I think that's around medium, right? Because it doesn't go, well, it doesn't go to 12 actually. That's probably higher than medium. It goes to max, which I'm not really up on my Roman numerals at this point, right? But I don't know what that means. So the last number I recognize is 8. Goes, then after that says max. So okay, so now it's telling me to put these all in. I just want to, for the record, so Bree can see this, because she's upstairs hiding away, still unimpressed with the content that I'm creating. Look at that amount of onions there. That would turn you around, right? If you're in the desert and you were like gonna go fight an army of onions and that much showed up, you'd be like, I'm out. All the pieces of the jokes are there, and then you guys put it together in your own head, or don't because you don't watch or whatever. Or got to put it out to the universe. I mean, I hope I'm making Dave proud right now because he was always saying that I should be doing a cooking show, right? Seemingly unaware that I was not in possession of any skills in the department of cooking at all. All right, well, let's get these things in there. Get them all stewing up. I don't really know why they say to do this because the step after this is you just leave this on the burner, boiling away for hours, guys. Like I'm talking 3 hours. You leave it on here. So if you're hoping that this is going to be a quick meal or something, like you just like tuned in and you're like, oh man, I gotta really, right before work, I gotta get this done. Like it's not happening, guys. Just go to work or whatever you gotta do. Because this is a 3-hour ordeal, 45-minute prep at least, but that's what real food takes. Like go and you buy things in the market of the supers, right? And then when you get there, you just totally lose touch with what it actually takes to make the meals. I mean, probably all made by robots, right? How weird is that we're all eating food that's made by robots? Probably farmed by robots. Next thing you know, the robots are coming around. They're just taking all the jobs, all left out in the dust, right? What are we supposed to do? Probably just live our lives and be happy, right? Once everything's taken care of by the robots, or the reboots, the robots. Okay, so now we gotta add just 4 cloves of garlic. I don't really know what I added last time. It wasn't garlic though. I mean, it was. But what I got going is this like chopped garlic ale. Not really sure who'd drink that. I didn't have any cloves, so I had this last time, and it looks like I used like just a lot of her, right? I don't really know how much I used. Should we guess or what? I'm just going with a guess on this one. I'm gonna be putting her one of those, maybe another one of those. That's another thing about cooking, is you really just want to be brave about her. If you're scared or whatever, you're not necessarily gonna screw up, but it's gonna make it a lot worse. Just want to kind of go for her, and if it sucks, whatever, just get it in you, right? The garlic ale is now back in the fridge. Man, that's starting to smell real nice now. Oh, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. Oh, that's a tablespoon. Whoa, getting his millimeters screwed up with his centimeters again. Teaspoon, bud. 10 mil dried oregano. Where's a teaspoon? It's a half teaspoon. Oh man, I just had a flashback. I think I put a teaspoon of that garlic in last time. This could end up being a lot of fun. That is the smell of Italian cooking. Actually, that's what that is. Okay, so what did it say? Guys, what did it say? Tell me, guys. Oh, they're not even there, right? So it says 2 teaspoons. This is a half teaspoon, so we're going to be doing 4 of these. If my math's correct, which I mean, I wouldn't be banking on that. Okay, so there's that. When does he just dump the whole thing in? That's what everybody's waiting for, right? Oh, man, it's off the rails here, guys. Yeah, we lacked the oregano last time, which now that I'm smelling it, like we really missed out on that. Okay, well that's close enough, right? Close enough. Not sure if you're supposed to be stirring it periodically, but I obviously have been doing that. You guys have seen. Now this is where we add all these tomato pastes here. Just like right in there, like right? It says chefing, right? We're chefing. But yeah, this is the best can opener ever. Doesn't know where his measuring cups are, right? Wow. It's like it's his first time or something. 500 milliliters. So we're just gonna get that in there now. Get it to the consistency of a sauce. It's going to have a sausage, baby. Time for a Hoon Talk? Okay, let's just stop filtering it. Let her out. Let her out. All right, get these cans in there, and then that'll be it. So now we're doing diced tomatoes with Italian flavorings, right? Spices. That's gonna be going in. We're gonna be doing a 2-can Sam of that. Got 2 cans. In they go, guys. In they go. Oh yeah, and this just fills her up to the brim, by the way. Okay, so now we're getting some tomato sauce. Look at how that can opener works. It's like it's a paid promo, but it's not, guys. It's not. I promise. Nobody would pay for 15 views. Not even I would. Jack, what are you doing? What are you doing? Part of this looks like it's where you belong. Did I make a mistake in an error in judgment? Are you gonna go away on your own, or am I gonna have to move you away? Oh, he's gone. Oh, his tail's there still. Way to go, bud. Oh, what are you doing? No. He's licking the sausage things. Like, trust. Like, oh, he's on the counter, whatever, not a big deal. Look over, he's just eating this, like, husks of sausage and stuff off the counter, like, digging into whatever he can find, licking knives and stuff. Just the most unruly cat. So we got this kitten around I showed you earlier, and she's got to eat different food than the big boy there, because she's a kitten, right? She's growing. Got to eat, like, double calorie, and obviously he just seems to think that that's like his time has come. Somebody's just leaving all this double calorie food around for me. That's what he thinks, but it's not for him at all. And so we're like really struggling trying to make it so he's not morbidly obese, right? But when do you give up? I don't know. Do we give up ever, or do we just keep fighting him about it? Now he's literally eating garbage off the ground over there. Garbages. He's just eating garbage. So this is just a little version of that big version that I've been putting in there. Oh man, he flicked himself. It's everywhere. He splashed her. When I said it was up to the brim, guys, I was not kidding. It's literally right up there. Now, I don't really know why the recipe calls for this. I don't really know a lot of things, obviously. Don't wipe it on your pants. He almost wiped it on his pants, guys. Yeah, I don't really know why we got a tomato paste going on this one, or how that's different from a tomato sauce, or how that's different from diced tomatoes with Italian spices. It says to do it, so I think with any sort of instructions, if you just do what you're told, a lot of times you'll end up where you're going to be wanting to be, right? That's if you wanted to be in that place to begin with, and it's not just somebody telling you do what you're told, right? Oh, poor Jack, eh? He's just got a bunch of garbages in his way. His dish is over there on the counter. Maybe that's why he's up here, right? Okay, so that's definitely not the same consistency as sauce. It's definitely the same consistency as paste. Guys, it fit. All of it fit in there, guys and girls. All right. Look at how high up that is. That's literally right to the brim of her. All these ingredients in there. Salt, pepper, ingredients, right, Dave? That's how we get her. Now all that's left is we got to leave her on there for like 3 hours. It's going to be a 3-hour ordeal of batting the cats away off the counter. Look at a little Jack trying to sneak over there again. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's not your side, bud. What are you doing? Oh, pushed his eye. How's a dominance thing? He pushed his eye into my finger as if to say, you can't stop me, bud. Anyway, I'll get back at you in 3 hours when we taste her, and if she's good or not or something or nothing, then we'll know. All right? See you then. Okay, so these are the ones exactly that we're going to be using. I mean, that we were using, that we did use. Look, because the lids are gone, right? So this is after, but I mean, I'm just showing you now. That's exactly what you got to be using. You got to be using just about half of this, maybe a bit more. A little bit of that guy. That's oregano. And then some red pepper guys going. One of these guys. Couple of things of ground beef, a whole package of sausages, right? 4 carrots, 2.5 onions, a lot of patience, right? It'll be worth it though. We're gonna have her up on some spaghetti. We're gonna have it with this guy. Little garlic bread, really that's what we're in it for. We love the garlic bread. A little bit of effort goes a long way in all things in life, I think. Guy cooks once and he's just like out of control with like the gospel talk, right? Want to be coming back and stirring her every once in a while just to make sure that burnt stuff on the bottom gets circulated evenly throughout, right? So as you can see, it's now nighttime outside. Clearly been at least 3 hours, right? Who knows? Anyway, this is where we're at. So we got this guy, he's boiled down quite a bit. I'll try to turn this around. Wow. Okay, so he's boiled down quite a bit from where he was up there. I've been stirring her occasionally. Ooh, smells good too. And now in there we got some spaghetti going. And in there we got our garlic bread. We're just about ready to eat her here. I've already tasted it and it's delicious, all right? Even though I didn't really follow the instructions or nothing, right? Don't really need to. Down here we got little Peep still playing as usual, right? Here you go. Just adorable, aren't you? Aren't you just too much to handle sometimes? Oh, yes. I heard an old wives' tale there about how you can tell if your spaghetti's done if you just throw it at something, it'll get stuck, right? So we're gonna test that right now. Yeah, stuck right on there. Spaghetti's gonna overcook now, I gotta take her off. All right, I hope you enjoyed that and you maybe learned something or maybe not. Hopefully it didn't make you dumber, right? Now, I'm gonna have to say goodbye for this one. Gonna be going and having dinner with my lovely wife and this is what we're gonna be eating. Like, favorite, subscribe. A couple of screws, a couple of 2x4s. Yeah, stuck right on there.